jump right into the AFC South. AJ, I'll start with one of yours, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. AJ, go ahead and take it from here.
Yeah, I mean, I love that we're starting with this team because this does feel like a team that is 4 or 5 solid moves away from really being a Super Bowl contender. They were, they drew the short stick by getting Buffalo in the first round. We saw how that happened. But number one, probably the most obvious move is to commit to Travis Hunter as a, I don't want to say full-time, but as a 90-10, 85-15 wide receiver to cornerback ratio. And then in doing that, from there, I would hope that they would look to trade Brian Thomas Jr. I'll share a little bit more about why I feel that way in a second. And then draft an edge rusher in the second round. They don't have a first-round pick due to the Travis Hunter trade last year, which is another reason why I think you've got to make Travis Hunter work. Not only did you take him with the, forgive me if I'm wrong, second overall pick that they traded up for? Second overall.
Yeah.
It was second overall pick, traded up for him. You've got to make that work, and paying that future first-round price, especially in a year where they could probably really, really use this first-round pick to bolster up their defense or pass catchers or whatever it may be. You've got to make Travis Hunter work. So that being said, though, their first pick is in the second round. I think they should bring in some reinforcements there on the defensive line, just build depth there. Number 4, I think they should let Travis Etienne walk. We've seen running backs work in this offense, really no matter who it is. Bashal Tutin showed some good things. I think you can let Etienne walk, and then from there, they've got 3 third-round picks. The third round is this running back sweet spot. So if they use one of those third-round picks to draft a complimentary running back to pair with Bashal Tutin, I think that will bolster their offense a little bit. We talked about strengthening the depth in their defense and making the correct move with Travis Hunter. I think those few things will really push this team to the next level.
Okay, so a couple of things I want to start with. You see the projected cap space up there. It is negative 13. There are a couple moves I already saw they could make to kind of get themselves in the positive. But I do like how you didn't rely on big cap space here. It's mostly maneuvering within the roster and the pieces that are already on it. Derek, I want to start in this wide receiver room, man. Moving Travis Hunter up into a more prominent role in the wide receiver room. Remember, you still have Jacoby Myers. You still have Parker Washington, who really balled out. And getting that trio together with the subtraction of Brian Thomas Jr. And I remember in your notes, I don't know if you mentioned it right now, but in your notes, trying to recoup maybe some of that draft capital that you spent on Travis Hunter. I thought that was a savvy move. But how do you feel about just the way AJ is pulling the strings here on the wide receiver room?
Yeah, I like the idea of moving Travis Hunter to one position, but like you said, if you have Parker Washington and you just give Jacoby Myers that contract, you might actually want to consider just moving him to corner and letting him be like an elite shutdown corner. I think they've proven that they can win on offense without Travis Hunter at wide receiver. They also have Brenton Strange, who's actually pretty good at tight end. So I think you don't lack the receiving talent, even moving Brian Thomas. And I agree. I think you should move Brian Thomas because whatever is going on is not working out. It's like a full year of just odd usage, right? He somehow is better with Mac Jones than Trevor Lawrence. So either figure that out or you got to move on and get the most value you can to maybe recoup like some of that draft capital that you paid for Travis Hunter, honestly.
If I could jump in right there for a second, I'll add to that. I think one more season of Brian Thomas, will he, won't he, will almost totally tank his value. Like, I think now you got to strike while people still might believe in this guy after the rookie season he had. But I think one more year of like him, 2 catches for 44 yards in half his games, like might completely take his value. So I also think it's a good idea.
So that's exactly why I'm bringing it up now, because the further removed we get from that rookie season, exactly what you said, his value is going to tank, especially if that's another year on his rookie deal that you're not able to trade for.
AJ, what Derek said though about the Travis Hunter deal, are the reason you're moving Travis Hunter over to wide receiver predominantly is that because you think they'll need more without Brian Thomas?
No, so I actually fully agree with what Derek's saying. It's just so frustrating that they traded up for the second.
Yeah.
You don't trade up to the second overall pick for a corner. You just don't. You trade up because you believe that this guy can be a generational wide receiver and can provide, a little bit extra on your defense. So that's what you've got to do. You've got to primarily. Personally, do I think, do I think he should? It's because it's the draft capital. It's purely because of the draft capital. Yeah. You cannot trade your future first, move up to the second round or to the second overall pick for the guy to be a shutdown corner.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at the depth chart.
If he was taken 15th overall, then I'm with you 100%, Derek. But I just
cornerback.
It's frustrating. And I'm not even a Jags fan.
If you were to move over to wide receiver, remaining cornerbacks would be Greg Newsome, who they traded Rasul Douglas for, if I'm not wrong, and Jordan Lewis, the veteran slot corner they got with some other guys that honestly I don't know who they are, and so that I think it will leave a hole at cornerback, but maybe you could plug that in. Greg Newsome's pretty decent, and maybe you kind of get away with it. Let's move to that running back room because you didn't really spend too much time on defense, which I think might be fine. But let's talk about the running back room. ETN walking in free agency. Derek, do they let T-Law's homeboy walk?
Oh man, that's tough. The thing is, you got to see what you think what ETN's getting, right? You got to compare him to the rest of the market. Is he going to be like a David Montgomery type contract, or is he going to be kind of closer to the like Josh Jacobs type contract? I mean, he had a pretty good end of the year. I think he's the only one who scored the touchdowns for them, right, in the playoff.
He did play well.
So,
he had a great year too. Like, look at his numbers now: 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns on the ground, and then also chipped in 36 catches with 6 touchdowns in the air.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is that we're not bringing up is you see the projected cap space is -13. I'm looking at their dead money here, and they got $44 million in dead cap money, right? And you know who the top 2 guys contributing to those dead cap are? And I don't think you guys will know. It's Tyson Campbell, cornerback at $19 million, and Gabe
who's not on the team anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what dead cap is. Like you're paying this money because
Davis,
because they're not on the team.
Gabe Davis.
So, ironically, we just moved off from Travis Hunter and Brian Thomas at wide receiver and cornerback, and their top 2 dead cap hits is Tyson Campbell and Gabe Davis at 19 and 14 million. So if you want to talk about mismanagement right there, that's where you're looking at.
For sure.
Unfortunately, letting ETN walk might be a product of that.
Right.
Yeah. Like you just don't got the money. Yeah, I want to sign him, but look, we're talking about negative cap space and dead cap right here.
I mean, what did they pay for Bashal Tutin? Is he heavily invested in as far as draft capital? I can look at it. It was either a second or a third, right? I can look it up. He was a 4th-round pick, but I think he played well enough where I'd be pretty comfortable going in. And to say in that 3rd round, you land a Jonah Coleman from Washington, a Jadarian Price from Notre Dame, or even like a Nicholas Singleton from Penn State, pair him up with ETN, and I think that's more than enough in this Liam Cohen offense, which AJ said, like, it seems like pretty plug and play. Like ETN was pretty much dead in the water before this past year, and he did obviously really well. Okay, just for the sake of keeping it moving, AJ, just an edge in the second is why you address the defense. Are you just okay with this defense?
I love this defense. Obviously, there, like you said, the corner depth can be addressed. That can be addressed in the draft as well. But like another team we'll talk about, I don't think you do too much to this defense. They were incredible. They forced turnovers. I love this defense. I think, and not necessarily that the offense was a big problem, but there is absolutely room for the offense to grow. And just the biggest thing to address, or the biggest roadblock for this team, is their cap space. So, they've got to make some moves in spite of that negative cap space.
All right, that is the Jacksonville Jaguars, the perfect offseason. They make these 5 moves. Who knows? Maybe they're playing in where's the Super Bowl next year?
LA,
baby.
Of course. It's in LA, baby. I have a big idea about that, but I won't say it yet because my wife says not to. All right, that is the Jacksonville Jaguars, and good luck.